Hi, I'm Mary Kopczynski, the CEO of RegAlytics. Welcome to this week's Regulatory Roundup. It has been an awesome week. Yesterday was International Women's Day, and yours truly was featured in a big event with the London Stock Exchange and Springboard Ventures, talking about the transformational power of RegAlytics in the industry. And also, the big news is finally out. RegAlytics got a seed round of funding from First Rate Ventures, and we are so excited to bring RegAlytics to the next level. Here are the most interesting alerts from the 5,412 that came in last week, and don't worry, it's still holdover. 43% of those were companies complaining to the CFPB. The regulator of the week is BaFin. Yeah, it's a funny name, but it is shorthand for the main German financial regulator. This week, BaFin identified 6 key risks to the German financial industry, and that's going to be its primary regulatory focus. But these 6 risks are as global as can be, and I actually think pretty illuminating. So the 6 risks are: 1, risks caused by the low interest rate environment, risks caused by corrections on the real estate markets, which during COVID will be very interesting to watch how people engage differently at work at home. Risks caused by significant corrections on the international financial markets, risks caused by corporate loan defaults, cyber risks, and risks caused by inadequate money laundering prevention. The topic of the week is crypto. 1, CME has announced plans to launch options on micro Bitcoin and micro Ether futures. This will start on March 28th, pending regulatory review. Also, more fallout from crypto exchanges resisting Russian sanctions. A bunch of senators wrote a letter to the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, raising concerns that crypto is being used to evade sanctions. So, if you are in any way involved in crypto and have any remote nexus to Belarus or Russia, I would seriously consider shutting it down. I'm already getting notices from banks, exchanges, and other major infrastructure institutions that are saying, sorry, gotta comply. So here's a reminder. Sanctions have been live in this country since World War II. There's an entire Treasury Department created to do it and enforce it that has been alive since the 1950s, and they apply to all human beings and companies operating in the United States. So if you don't think Russia sanctions apply to you, please look again, because the fines are severe. New Jersey had an exciting week in crypto. They introduced 2 bills. One that amends the official legal definition of a gift to include all forms of virtual currency and non-fungible tokens. And under this bill, a public official is prohibited from accepting any form of virtual currency or non-fungible token as a gift. If you don't like it, speak up. Also, New Jersey wants to establish the Blockchain Promotion and Integration Program to increase public awareness of blockchain and decentralized digital technology. For those of you following climate, the government of Canada published its Green Bond Framework. Canada expects to issue over $5 billion in bonds this year in order to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. For those of you following emerging tech, tomorrow the SEC is hosting a public meeting to discuss ethical artificial intelligence, robo-advisor fiduciary responsibilities, and cybersecurity. For those of you following privacy, Rhode Island has a rule on the table forcing people or companies who collect and sell personal identification information, also known as PII, to publicly display a privacy protection policy. Violations would be $500 a pop. So hopefully whatever you're selling, it's for more than that, and you've built it into your business model, or you will now worry about Rhode Island privacy regs, as well as California, Idaho, Alaska, Washington State, and everywhere else. Wyoming is at it again with regulatory innovation. Now they're opening a sandbox for insurance companies. In diversity and inclusion this week, Louisiana is contemplating a genetic counselors licensing act that would require all state and municipal employees to receive annual training in cultural competency. It defines cultural competency as an understanding of how institutions and individuals can respectfully respond to people from all different backgrounds, such as race, language, economic, gender, veteran, and disabilities. And then in the same breath, Louisiana introduced a bill this week that would prohibit financial institutions from denying financial services to a person based on a person's political affiliation or any environmental, social, or governmental credit factors. I can't tell if this is good or bad for ESG, but my gut tells me there is some backstory there. The lead reps are both Republican, but that's kind of par for the course in Louisiana, so I really don't know. And I like to end with something funny. Thank you, FTC, for always making me laugh with your silly, punny headlines. This week, a tea company got in trouble for claiming that the tea would cure COVID-19, which honestly is pretty terrible and atrocious. However, the FTC headline on this topic said, and I quote, "Cure COVID with a herbal beverage? A falsy tea." Like as in falsity? Like, oh my goodness. Anyway, that's it this week for Regulalytics. We have the most comprehensive, coherent, and customizable regulatory alerts tool in the world. Come and see how company after company is transforming their compliance with this kind of transparency. See you next Wednesday.